shout out goes out to our current channel members. If you were interested in picking up a channel membership for as little as $1.99 a month, head over to my channel profile and hit the join button to view all of the available perks. Thanks. Ninjago has a catalogue of seasons almost reaching the 12-year-old mark at this point. In other words, well, we have 12 years of content to watch. During those years, there have been some pretty major highs and also lows, to the point where I consider these years to be almost like a roller coaster consisting of different quality levels. Today, in this video, I want to expand on this a little bit more and rank every single year for Ninjago from worst to best. Please do keep in mind that this is based off a wide variety of things. Also, there's the seasons that released at the time, the accompanying set wave, the Ninjago community at that point, and how fun it was to be a community member and a Ninjago fan at that point in time. With this being said, I think that is all of the explaining there is really here to be done. With this being said, let's dive straight into the video. With this being said, here we are on the tier list website, so we're just going to be going through these, and before we even begin, I don't think this really needs to be said, but please do just keep in mind, S tier is like the peak of the years of Ninjago. It is the best of the best, the cream of the crop. A is just going to be consisting of great years, not quite the absolute peak, but still absolutely nothing to look down on. And, well, you get the point, I think. D is going to be the bottom of the barrel stuff. So, let's just get straight into this. There's going to be really no particular order, just whatever I feel like talking about first. And I'm going to be starting off with an interesting one, and that is 2016. Now, 2016 was a pretty dry year for Ninjago, all things considered. We had Skybound and Day of the Departed, and that was really it, both of which released very far apart. If I do remember correctly, Skybound was released at the very start of the year, and then Day of the Departed was released towards the end. Everybody thought Day of the Departed was Season 7 as well. It wasn't, it was just a special, and everybody's hype just went out the window, and Day of the Departed flopped pretty badly. And while Season 6 is my all-time favourite Ninjago season, and so you'd automatically think that this would be a great year for me, it's really not. And also, the set waves were pretty cool, but at the same time, I think just how things were spaced out throughout the year made it a lot more annoying to watch, especially if I was there watching at the actual point of when it released. Yeah, it just wouldn't have been fun overall. I'm just judging this based off of what I've heard in the Ninjago community, by the way, because I didn't watch Season 6 when it first released. I was only getting into Ninjago at this point in time. So, yeah, Season 6 and 2016, I think is going to go in C tier for now. I'm not ordering them in the actual tiers, by the way, guys, so also keep that in mind, but I think it belongs in C tier. At least for now. I may change things a little bit at the end. 2013, it was also an interesting year for Ninjago. That is when Season 2 was released, and, you know, it was a pretty cool year, I would say. Season 2 was definitely underwhelming, obviously. That's my own thoughts on this. At that point in time, though, Season 2 was set to be the ending for Ninjago. As a year, though, for the whole show and all, considering things overall, I would also put it in C tier. I was thinking about putting it in B tier, but I just don't think it really belongs in there, to be honest. Let's go with 2021. You know, I'm going to be putting this in A tier, and the reason for that mainly is because being in the Ninjago community at this point in time, when Seabound was releasing, and, you know, all of the first half of the year, it was great. Now, 2021 did also house the time we got that insane content drought, which was absolutely a shame, and that alone may kind of confuse you guys as to why I'm putting it so high up, but I do believe 2021 was, like, prime time to be a Ninjago fan. The hype around Seabound's release and when all of the new episodes were releasing was seriously a time I wish I could relive. It was so much fun. Even just here on the YouTube channel, I was having so much fun with videos at that point. Arguably the most fun ever, to be honest. All of that first half of 2021 was just amazing. I had so much fun with it. And again, I really wish I could relive it. So 2021 A tier, I think that is going to be just about where it belongs. 2022 is also going to be going in A tier. Reason being for that is mainly because of the actual community, not so much the season itself. If you guys know me, you would know that Crystalized
you know, not really the biggest fan of it. It was a massive disappointment overall, all things considered. But at the same time, we have to take into consideration the joy the Ninjago community brought us, really. I thought it was amazing being in the Ninjago community. Ninjago Twitter was awesome, really, overall. And again, I had so much fun with it at this point in time. The hype was just off the charts. And I love it when the Ninjago community comes together like that and just gets hyped for a Ninjago installment. That's really what it's all about, and I had so much fun with it. 2020 is going to be going in S tier. This was when, obviously, the pandemic happened and affected literally all of us pretty hard, and 2 Ninjago seasons came out during this time and really helped us all through that point in time, especially Prime Empire. Both really fun, different Ninjago seasons compared to what we had previously, and I enjoyed both of them. Season 13 is one of my favourites. Season 12 isn't one of my favourites, but it is still a very solid Ninjago season on its own. So the set waves that accompanied the seasons at this point, both just spectacular. I mean, not so much Prime Empire, but definitely Season 13 set wave was great. Now, we're going to be switching things up here, and I'm going to be going with 2017. And okay, so you've just seen me put this in C tier, and that sounds crazy because you also have to remember that the Ninjago movie came out at this point in time, which definitely helped the theme overall. At the same time, though, Season 7 exists, and that was a huge disappointment. And also the Ninjago movie was, in my personal opinion. Now, I urgently need to rewatch this thing because I only rewatched it once, so, you know, things may be a little bit outdated here, as I did watch it once back in 2017, and maybe I don't remember things as well, but look, I just thought it was really underwhelming. The set wave, you know, it was cool, but at the same time, I find myself forgetting it even exists a lot of the time. So, honestly, it's really all it's got going for it, in my opinion. It was just, like, not bad, but not really good either, if that makes any sense. And I think it definitely does belong down here in C tier, definitely, with all of the other seasons there. 2014 is going to be going in D tier. 2014 was the Resurrection of Ninjago, so it may seem kind of bad that I'm putting it way down here, as this is the return year for the theme of Ninjago, as it was initially about set to end for Season 2, but then it came back due to insane amounts of popularity. But still, 2014, not good at all. Rebooted, pretty bad season. The release schedule completely killed everything it had going for it, as I believe only a few episodes were released every 3 months or so, spanning the entire year. Seriously, whoever decided to do that should be fired. That was a horrendous idea. So 2014, although it was Ninjago's resurrection year, it was handled horribly. Not a good year at all for Ninjago. Definitely a bottom of the barrel year. 2014, D tier, absolutely. 2019, honestly, this is, I think, going to have to be B tier. Now, 2019, we did actually get March of the Oni. People always think we got it in 2018, but no, it was very early 2019, if I do remember correctly. Yeah, very early January, I do believe. And Season 10, disappointing. The set wave, I mean, it was a minifigure pack, that was it, so we can't really go over that. But the Ninjago community in 2019 was an insane disappointment. Everybody was just angry all of the time. Season 10 was a massive disappointment, and, you know, people are right to be kind of a little bit annoyed about that, in my opinion. Season 11, we got that unfinished trailer, courtesy of Teletoon, messing things up. The Ninjago community just went wild on Season 11 to a ridiculous degree, and it was just unnecessary. It was really toxic at the time. Season 11 itself is what's kind of keeping it up in B tier here, because Season 11 was a solid Ninjago season, in my personal opinion. It was nothing incredible, and I don't think it was amazing peak fiction by any means, but it wasn't bad at all. At the same time, though, the Ninjago community, terrible overall, in my opinion. The toxicity was just not needed, and also the set wave has to be mentioned here as another huge factor as to why it is even in B tier in the first place without being dropped off in C tier. The set wave for Season 11 was absolutely incredible, and I wish I could own some of those juicy Season 11 sets. They were all incredible. 2011 is what we're going to be talking about up next. Obviously, this is Ninjago's first year when the pilots came out, and I really don't have much to say about this one. I'm going to be putting it in B tier as kind of like the average tier, if that makes any sense, just because we only really got the pilots and a set wave. I do not really remember anything from this, obviously. I was not a Ninjago fan. I was also about 4 years old at that point in time, fun fact. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. I haven't really heard anything about it, unlike some of the other years we've already talked about. I'm usually going off of what I've heard and know about the years. 2011, though, I never really hear anything about it. It's just kind of there, the pilots exist, And I think this is really the most reasonable place to put it, though. But moving along next, we do have 2012, which does belong in S tier, I would say. 2012, obviously Season 1. I've heard a lot of great things about the Ninjago community at this point. Obviously, it wasn't very big, and it's nowhere near what we had today, as the internet was still in its early days in that way. For example, we didn't really have a big Twitter community or Instagram community or anything, if that makes any sense. And a lot of people were much younger at that point, obviously. But I believe there were, you know, odd forums, odd Twitter users that were fans of Ninjago. But it was just kind of the very early days, if that makes any sense. And we also got an absolute classic Ninjago season, one of the best to this day, along with an awesome Z-Wave. So I think S tier is really the only place it does belong. Great year for Ninjago, of course. Now, with these next two, well, I'm just going to say it right now. 2015, also S tier. Reason being, it was kind of the start of the modern era, I want to say. At least it was almost that point in time. I don't know, it's really hard to put into words, but I just see 2015 as kind of the start of what we have today for Ninjago. We had two amazing Ninjago seasons, things were almost getting a bit more modern in that regard, you know, the Ninjago community was coming together more than ever at this point in time to begin with, and it just seemed really fun back then, man. I really wish I could have been involved at this point in time. Sadly though, I had no idea Ninjago existed at that point in time, so, you know, kind of impossible to do that. But yeah, 2015 just seemed like an absolute blast. Two top-tier Ninjago installments. Yeah, it just seemed great. And now, with the final spot, I hate to be a little bit awkward and maybe even boring, but yeah, S tier 2018. I loved this year for Ninjago. We had one of the most unique Ninjago installments ever, that being Season 8, and it was when the designs were introduced, the new designs, of course. And heading into 2018, it was definitely shaping up to be a bad year for a lot of people. And also for the Ninjago community overall. Everybody was clowning these new designs, everybody was thinking the Ninjago season would be terrible, but it turned out to be an absolute masterpiece, to be honest, in a lot of people's opinion. And to this day, Season 8 is like the most beloved Ninjago season of all time. So yeah, it really does belong in this spot on the list. The hype around the community at this point in time, I remember it was literally incredible. There was literally news every week, it would seem. And also, as soon as Season 8 was done, it was like we were already jumping into Season 9 news and information, and then eventually the episodes. It was just so much fun in the Ninjago community. Once you got rid of the initial toxicity happening at the time, it was just amazing once the seasons were releasing. Everybody was happy, everybody was content with what was going on and the direction Ninjago was taking. It was seriously just so much fun, and so S tier is really where it belongs. With all of this being said though, that is pretty much going to do it for my tier list. Hopefully you guys did enjoy, and even if you didn't agree with my options and listings here, hopefully you just enjoyed it and had some form of entertainment from this video. With this being said though, be sure to drop all of your own opinions on this down below in the comments. Be sure to drop all of your own rankings on this as well. I will also hopefully leave the link to the tier list at the top of the description if you would like to make your own. Feel free to tag me on Twitter or something like that, sharing all of your own tier lists. The link to my Twitter is also in my YouTube description and down below in the description of this video, so yeah, be sure to go and drop me a follow there. If you did enjoy this video though, be sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel for more, almost every single day, and hit that notification bell so that you can be the first to view my new content as soon as I do post it. With all of this being said though, I will see you all very soon for my next one. Goodbye.